Hey guys, happy April. It's April 5th, so I want to make sure that I get my April TBR done and up for you guys. I also get to go back to playing my TBR game this month because I did read 2 books last month. So yay, super excited about that. Very happy to bring back the game. Before we get into that, I'm going to go through everything else that I need to read. We'll play the game and then I'll share with you guys my magical readathon picks, which I am super excited about, but some of them I haven't picked out yet. Depends on what we get in this game. Let's go ahead and get into it. My plans are to have some devotions, 12 in 2022. I may or may not get to some of my 40 Days for Life reads because I think it ended today. So it's not like I really have to read that, but I would like to. I need to catch up on Bronte and play the TBR game as well as my rollovers. Down here you can't see them, but if you are familiar with my game, you know that anything that I don't read 1 month will roll over up to 3 months. If I don't read it within that 3-month period after it's rolled over, I have to unhaul it. And it's not the most pleasant thing, but that is my rule because I have so many books that I just don't pick up, and I need to pick them up and I need to read them or just move them on to someone who will read them and get books that I'm going to read, you know? Speaking of rollovers, I'm going to quickly mention that I have until April 7th to read these. They were supposed to be read by April 1st. Had a really busy month last month, was in a reading slump. It was just a whole thing. So I gave myself 1 extra week because I did start all of these, and I'm going to see how much I can finish of these, and whatever I don't finish by the 7th, the end of the day on the 7th, I will unhaul them. But without further ado, let's get into what I will be reading this month. So for devotionals, I am going to continue with Jesus Calling, preparing for Easter, obviously until Easter, and this kids ministry that nourishes book that I read every Saturday night before leading and teaching with kids. I think there's 3 chapters left. 3 chapters and a conclusion, so I should finish this month. I don't think there are any more lists, so this should be the last month of kids ministry that nourishes, and I've loved this book. I've actually been reading it for several years because obviously Saturday night only comes so often, so it's taken me a while, but it's changed a lot of the way that I do things, the way that I see things, and I really do highly recommend this book if you are part of any sort of kids ministry. And I almost dropped it, so that's great. So right here, I'll go ahead and say I do want to read at least some of these books for 40 Days for Life. I have Abolishing Abortion, Unplanned by Abby Johnson, Stand for Life, and Why Pro-Life. I've had all of these books for a long time, and I've not read any of them, so that's not cool. I got 3 of them for free, and I bought the other one, and I really should just actually read them. However, I'm not putting them on a TBR because I want to read them for 40 Days for Life. Of course, 40 Days for Life is basically over, but I'll do what I can. I think I'm going to do a specific vlog for this, see how much of these I can get read. So jumping back to my 12 in 2022 reading recommendations challenge. I'm 3 months behind. The first month I read Una out of order. It was fine. It wasn't my favorite. It wasn't my least favorite. However, I've not done my monthly reading prompt challenge, whatever. I've not read the book since February when I was supposed to read Where the Forest Meets the Stars because I was sick and I couldn't get out to the library to pick it up. I need to replace that hold. Then I need to read A Tree Grows in Brooklyn, which was March's pick. Need to do that. And then this month I will be reading, or should be reading, All Systems Red, the first book in the Murderbot series. That's what I'll be reading this month. I know that a lot of people, the people who love it, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be one of those people, but that's the point of the recommendations challenge, is to try different books that I'm not sure I'm going to like and see what I think of them. Bronte Long, I need to continue Jane Eyre, and I need to read Agnes Grey. I will not be reading Wuthering Heights, which I think is April's pick. I'm not going to be reading that because I've read it before and I've tried to read it several times and I just don't like it. Not a Wuthering Heights fan at all. Sorry to those of you who are. It's just not my favorite at all. I love Jane Eyre, but I do not like Wuthering Heights, and I'm interested to see what I think of Agnes Grey. I just haven't gotten to it yet. I'm going to go ahead and now share the rollovers with you guys, and then we'll do the TBR game and then the magical readathon prompts, just so that it goes from least fun to most fun, you know what I mean? For rollovers, obviously I mentioned before those 5 books that I need to read by the 7th, but the books that are in Jeopardy for this month have to be read by May 1st are The Year of Magical Thinking, Grit. I will be upset if I don't read this, so I need to get to that. I need to finish 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. This is another one. I would be very upset if I had to unhaul it without finishing it, so I need to get on that. Killing Kryptonite. Really upset if I didn't get to this, so I need to get to that. So the other 2 would be Blackout by Candace Owens and Positive Intelligence by this person whose name I'm not sure of. I would definitely be upset if I had to unhaul these, so I really need to read these, and I may try to incorporate them in Magical Readathon quests, probably. I don't think they'll fit my prompts, but they might fit a quest, so I think that's where you'll see some of these, hopefully, throughout the month. The books that are not in Jeopardy this month but do need to be read by June 1st are Acts of the Apostles. I don't have that much left on this one. No God But One. Definitely do not want to unhaul that, so I need to read it. And The Piano Tuner, which I am losing interest as the months go by, but I still do want to read this. We'll see if I get to it. So now for the TBR game. If you are not familiar with my TBR game, I play the game based on what I rated the books that I read in the previous month. Since I had a 3-star and a 4-star, I will be choosing one prompt from this. Oh, there's a wooden block in there. I will be choosing one prompt from in here. And where is my trouble game? So is I roll the dice 3 times. I see which section of the book matches the dice. It's a whole thing. We'll get into it in a second. First of all, I'm going to draw a prompt. Okay, I think I just got one. Try to open it up for you guys before I see it. Is that upside down? Oh, draw again. Okay. Well, then I'm going to put this in here. Flip it up and over. And draw again. Ooh, has to be a book from a little free library. So let's see what I have. This is my TBR shelf right now. I've gotten that, and that, all from a little free library. What do I want to read the most? Okay, as much as these ones interest me, that kind of interests me, I'd like to choose one of these 2 to fit my romance prompt for Magical Readathon. And this one is really jammed in here, but I know that I could get through Karen Kingsbury pretty quickly. A Betrayal, A Decision, A Hope. Oh, dang, this might be along the lines of A Time to Dance, and I might end up crying again. If you were here last year and you know that was a time. This one is, I think, yeah, it's a biography. What do you guys think? I'm feeling more fiction, to be honest. I do want to read this at some point, but I'm feeling more this one. So I think that is what I'm going with. It's called Redemption by Karen Kingsbury and Gary Smalley, and I am intrigued to see what I think of this. I'll either love it or I'll hate it. We shall see. And so for this one, I need to count how many books are left on here. 1, 2, 3. I think I'm going to count it as if there were 20. Just go with me on this. If it lands on a 1, I'm going to skip the process of narrowing it down and read whatever the longest one is, which actually I think is that one. Longest by page numbers. If it lands on a 6, I will read whichever one I want. If it lands on a 2, I will roll the dice again and it'll be one of these. 3, one of these. 4, one of these, 5, one of these. And then if it's a 6, I will choose whichever of these that I want. It's a 1, hopefully you can see that, which means that I have to read the longest one. LOL at my life. Okay. I'm gonna have to count out these pages, so bear with me. Ooh, that actually might be the longest one. 415 pages. This could count as my magical readathon prompt also. So let's hope for that. I don't think any of those are going to be 415 pages. Let's check on this one. Nope, 300 something. So, looks like this is the winner of the Trouble game. So, TBR Game decided to be really mean to me and give me some of the chunkiest books that I have on my TBR. But at least I will get to read these that are little free library books, both of them, and see what I think of them. And if I don't like them, they can go right back where they came from. So, that's the TBR Game. Along with Magical Readathon, I would like to read Play with Fire. This is supposed to be a book that I was supposed to read for my character prompt because my character Avery is a fire earthling and I needed to read my elemental book with the word fire in it, and I haven't yet. But I think this one should be pretty quick to get through, and I'm really not that concerned if I don't read it. It's my Magical Readathon page with the really hideous drawing. That's supposed to be my guild tier counter. Avery is my character. She is going to be a healer. That is her calling. She's a novice. Obviously, this is the first year. She takes after the legacy of Astra, the goddess of dawn and beginnings. My guild tier is halfway to assistant because I did complete the novice path, which meant that I read like 2 books a couple months ago. For being a healer, the core courses that she has to take are Elemental, Alchemy, Restoration, and Inscription. Basics of Aerodynamics, meaning I have to read a book under 100 pages. And I have read all the books that I own that are under 100 pages. So maybe I'm gonna go with like a kid's book or something. Maybe after I film this, maybe I'll run downstairs and see what I can find. I'm feeling like a reread of a kid's favorite, childhood favorite. There were a lot of options for kids' books. The books that I was thinking about were like 104 pages, so that was frustrating. Like, why do my childhood favorites have to be over 100 pages? I then toyed with the idea of rereading Meet Kit, the American Girl book, but I don't want to put that up on my TBR cart, and I'm also not in the mood to read it right now, so it was a whole thing. In the end, I decided to go with Pinocchio. This is certainly less than 100 pages, and I can just really quickly sit on my bed right now and read it and count it, and it fits the prompt. It's perfect, so I'm gonna read Pinocchio, and that's gonna be my book under 100 pages for my elemental class. So kind of reminds me of like Gen Ed 101, you know? So simple, so basic, but like you have to take it, you know? But anyway, that's what I'm reading. Alchemy, the focus is Potion of Infatuation, and that means I have to read a romance-themed book. Redemption by Karen Kingsbury and Gary Smalley will fit perfectly, so this is what I'm going to be reading for that. For the course in Restoration, it's focused on curing wounds, and I have to read a book featuring healers. I did some research. Apparently Nevermore has like a tiny bit of a mention of a healer, so that's what I'm counting because I have Nevermore on my iPad, on my Libby app, and I need to read that in the next few days, so that's what I'm going to count for that. For Inscription, the focus is Glyph Strength. I thought that sounded so cool, the Inscription class, like that would be so fun to take. The prompt is Intimidating Read, and I don't know why, but I have found myself being very intimidated by the paradigm, which is so silly because I loved The Harbinger and I really want to read The Mystery of the Shemitah, and I love this series in general. I don't know why this is intimidating me, but it is, and this is my pick for that Inscription class. Any other books, like those rollovers, these rollovers, I will try to apply to the Magical Readathon quests, or extracurriculars as I'm calling them. On that note, I think I covered everything. I think this is going to be a good month for reading, I hope. Fingers crossed. But with that, I will talk to you guys next time. Make sure you give this video a like if you are as excited for April reading as I am. Comment below what you're most excited to read. And go ahead and subscribe if you have not already so you don't miss the next video whenever it will be. And I will talk to you guys next time. Bye!